Yo, hey, this shit easy, nigga. Hey, all I'm talking about, nigga, I'm still out here trying to get it.
Contender Regime Boxing, checking back in with y'all, man. What's good? So I gotta call cap on something, bruh. I gotta call cap on something, man. And this Canelo Alvarez and a lot of these Canelo Alvarez fans, man, I'm seeing how y'all totally changing up y'all energy when it come to Terence Crawford. Now, peep game. Canelo, when, Terence Crawford said that he would be willing to go up to 168, he like, no, why would I fight him? You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna get no credit for it. He too small. Well, it's true that coming up from 147 to 168, it's a big jump. The same way it's true that coming up from 54 to 168, like Jermell Charlo doing right now, is a big jump. It's also true when Amir Khan brought his little ass up to 160 to fight Canelo Alvarez, it was a big jump. But Canelo still took them fights. In fact, like I just mentioned, he's about to fight a smaller guy in Jermell Charlo on September 30th. So how can't you entertain the idea of fighting a Terence Crawford? Now, we know Canelo still got to fight Jermell Charlo. Jermell Charlo has an opportunity to win that fight. If he does, there might be a rematch in play. Most likely. We know that Canelo has a multi-fight deal with PBC. Rematch is most likely going to be in play if he loses that fight. We know that Terence Crawford could potentially have to fight Errol Spence a second time, right? So all of this is just hypotheticals as far as these fights potentially being made. But what I don't like is motherfuckers shooting down the idea of Terence Crawford fighting Canelo Alvarez. Now, this right here is just one of those situations where motherfuckers want to allow Canelo just to do whatever the fuck he want to do. Now, I understand, he done achieved a lot of shit in the sport. And, he done did his thing. Hats off to Canelo for having a great resume and achieving some great shit, making a lot of money in the sport. But that masterful cherry picking shit that I'm talking about now, one could say that fighting Terence Crawford is a cherry pick. But it ain't really a cherry pick when a motherfucker is calling you out and trying to get the smoke. Somebody that's saying that they willing to fight you. And there's also, you got to look at the skill level of Terence Crawford. Now, look at the physical dimensions. Yeah, we know that Canelo is a naturally heavier guy. But if you look at the dimensions, Terence Crawford got a 74-inch reach. Canelo Alvarez got a 70-inch reach. Look at the skill set. Both are great counterpunchers. But I think Terence Crawford, just like I said in my last video, is a better counterpuncher. I think Terence Crawford is faster. Pound for pound, he probably packed a harder punch pound for pound. Now, at that weight, 168, Canelo might be able to give it and take it more. But we don't know. We got to see what that shit look like. You feel what I'm saying? But just to absolutely rule that shit out when we seeing Canelo doing that shit right now as we speak, bringing a smaller guy up. We seen him do it in the past plenty times. We seen Canelo bring bigger guys down, and we seen him bring smaller guys up. So how all of a sudden, when you got a two-time undisputed in two different weight classes, number one pound for pound fighter in Terence Crawford, number one pound for pound, that means when somebody view you as number one pound for pound, that means that your skill set can translate through any weight class if you're physically able to fight at that weight. That means your skill set translate. You feel me? You look at guys like Floyd Mayweather, who was number one pound for pound in the past. Guys like Andre Ward, number one pound for pound. Guys like Roy Jones Jr. What these guys have in common, they were all able to move up in different weights and their skills translate and they were able to be dominant. You feel what I'm saying? So it kind of baffles me that these Canelo Alvarez fans and Canelo Alvarez himself is just totally denouncing the idea of fighting Terence Crawford. Now I understand he focused on Jermell Charlo, and you better be goddamn focused because Jermell coming to fight and he fuck around and whoop your ass. But we know that Canelo is the favorite in that fight. So he can't afford to, no matter how much these motherfuckers think that's an easy fight for Canelo, he can't afford to overlook Jermell Charlo. So I get that. But him just saying, why would I fight Terence Crawford? I ain't gonna get no credit for it. He a small. You done this shit before. You doing it right now. You doing it right now. I'm gonna tell you what it is. I think Canelo know what type of dog Terence Crawford is. I think he know what type of motherfucker he will be getting in the ring with. You feel what I'm saying? I think he know the skill level that he'll be facing with a Terence Crawford. And the same thing with these Canelo Alvarez fans. They don't want to see an opportunity of Canelo getting fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Or getting made to look like an amateur yet again, like Floyd made him do. Now, Terence Crawford and Floyd, they two different fighters. Skill set totally different. You know, styles is different. But I think they see something. Canelo see the same shit too. That could give him some issues. So he trying to just totally disregard that fight. Terence Crawford, I think he like doing business with PBC. And I don't think it'll be no problem for them to usher in him as one of them options on Canelo Alvarez multi-fight deal with PBC and Showtime. You feel what I'm saying? So y'all let that shit sink in. You can't sit up here and tell me that that ain't odd. That we done seen Canelo do this shit multiple times. He's doing it right now. His next fight is bringing a smaller guy up in weight. All of a sudden, now Terence Crawford ain't good enough. Come on now. Come on now. I know in the past Terence Crawford said Canelo too big and he wouldn't go up there and fight him. But I'm going to tell you what it is. And it ain't about no money. Because he just made a hell of a bag with Errol Spence. He can do the rematch again with Errol Spence. He probably won't do the same numbers, but he's still going to get a bag to fight Errol Spence in a rematch. You feel what I'm saying? So it ain't really about the money. I'm going to tell you what it is, and I said it in that last video. Terence Crawford want to be undisputed in 3 weight classes. He understand the situation with Jermell Charlo and the WBO. It's going to take longer to go undisputed at 54 as opposed to him jumping straight up and fighting the winner out of the fight at 168 between Charlo and Canelo. That gives him direct passage to undisputed, one fight. And Terence Crawford is one of those guys that he's good enough to jump through all the hoops, to skip over all the hoops and go straight to the man. When you number 1 pound for pound, 2-time undisputed, you making history. You obviously an elite fighter that got the skill set. Motherfuckers would, that's a fight that people will give you a chance to win. I think skill for skill, Terence Crawford is better than Canelo. I've been saying that shit. But the weight is an issue, I understand. But I don't like the idea of motherfuckers talking about, nah, I don't want to see that fight because it just, you know what I'm saying, don't make no sense. He too little. This ain't the first time Canelo done brought a smaller fighter up to a higher weight and did whatever he did to him. You feel what I'm saying? Y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments, man. Are y'all peeping this weird ass energy? This shit weird. I don't like how Canelo is just dismissing the fight. Yeah, you can say I'm focused on male, but if a motherfucker come to my weight class, I'll give him that smoke. What's good? You know what I'm saying? I seen in the Breakfast Club interview where Canelo said if he come up to 168, why not? But he didn't sound that convincing, so I had to pay more attention. Then he did another interview where he said, nah, why would I do it? Because they ain't gonna get no credit for it. Which one is it, Canelo? Y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments, man. Contender Regime Boxing. I'll holla at y'all boys, man.